There are many other details in this process that I teach during the Etalon unblocking classes. For example, I explain that articles a and the are parts of the nouns, the words that name the object or subject. For example, when we say a cat, we need to understand that this is one word, a cat. One emphasis, one word, a cat, a chair, a phone, a person. A and person are not separate. So this is one word. And this is logical, of course, to kind of combine them, to say it together. Yeah, when we write them separately. But when we say it as one word. The same is, for example, article that. We say the man, the person, the book. Of course, there is no mistake if we say the book. No mistake. But it's not logical because it's one word, one piece of information that we transfer. And another example, I explain to my students that, for example, to always goes with a verb. To do things, to read, to smile, to imitate. It's one word. This is why it has only one emphasis and it has to be said together as one word. If you do not know what this emphasis is, it means you do not really know this word yet. And when you attempt to say it, you will stupor 100%. Okay, what other stupors exist? There are also various ear stupors. It is when a person doesn't hear well the word he wants to say because he keeps thinking about something at this moment and his thoughts usually have nothing to do with speech. Even if he thinks about speaking, it's not appropriate. At this moment, he observes things, he observes people around. He thinks about how others look at him, what they think about him, and totally irrelevant things like, poor me, I will fall again, I will stutter right now. Oh, here is a difficult word is coming. Here is this difficult letter. Here is this Mr. John, I can never speak in front of my boss, Mr. John. Now I will make a mistake and everyone will be laughing at me, and so on. This is called a memory stupor block. The variety of stupor blocks is unlimited because every block is disinformation that a person believes. But roughly, I want to divide all stupors into several categories. It's an eye stupor, an ear stupor, it's a memory stupor, it's a vocal cord stupor, it's a lung stupor, it's a tongue stupor, it's a lip stupor, and there could be many, many others. Each person who stutters has his own unique, personal set of stupors. It is so important, so crucial to understand. It is as individual as a handwriting. You know that there are no even two people on this planet with totally identical handwriting. They can be similar, but still different. This is why each person who stutters has his own stuttering form, his own stuttering style, his own stuttering blocks, his own stuttering mistakes. Everything is completely individual. Every person who stutters has his personal set of stupor blocks. Even though their body organs are the same in principle, I mean, they're healthy, there is nothing wrong with them, but the way they deviate from the normal way of using their body-mind machine is different. Each person who stutters is like a lock, which requires a very specific key. And just like millions of locks on the planet are different, and each of them requires only one specific key to unlock it. So millions of people who stutter have totally different sets of blocks. And each person requires only one specific key for his unblocking, for unblocking his or her mind. This is why, just like with a broken car, an auto mechanic must first do his evaluation in order to discover what is broken. So it is in case with a person who stutters. An unblocking master should first evaluate the body-mind machine of a blocked person. Find where the damage is, what a person is doing incorrectly with his 100% perfect body-mind device, body-mind machine. Once again, we speak with the flow of CO2 gas. We always have it. Can it ever become sick?
No.
What could be wrong with the body? Okay, so we may not have teeth, but even toothless people can speak. Remember how young children around 6, 7, when they're changing the set of their teeth, and some of them don't have front teeth. Yeah, their speech is kind of funny, but they don't stutter. They still speak. So what else can be wrong with the body? Our tongue could be cut in 2 parts, in half. There are some people who do this. They cut their tongue. They want to look cool. And guess what? They still speak. Some people may damage their lips. They fill them with silicone and make them huge lips, right? But they still speak. Even people after operations on their vocal cords, they still can speak. Yeah, they speak like this. Their vocal cords are not normal. They kind of whisper like this. But they still speak. They don't stutter. Our lungs may be in a bad shape. We may have a pneumonia. But we still can speak. Why? Because we still speak with CO2 flow. We're still moving it. Even people with asthma can speak when their asthma attack is over. But why can't they speak when they have asthma attack? Because they experience a real medical issue. They experience a muscle spasm. It's called emphysema. And they cannot breathe out. They would urgently need some medication. But people who stutter do not have asthma attacks. They can breathe in, out, no problem. After their unsuccessful attempt to say something, they continue breathing normally. The air from outside comes in, the air from inside comes out, no problem. But they cannot say a word. Why? Because it is simply absent in their mind at this moment. Their mind at this moment, their memory is empty. This is why they constantly ask, what's wrong with my brain? The answer to this question is, nothing is wrong with your brain. Its structure is no different from the structure of the brain in other people around you. It simply is missing information at this moment. And it is similar to if there was no file downloaded on our computer, but we would attempt to print it out. No matter how much we would be pushing and pushing and pushing the print button, our computer will not be able to execute this command. Why? Because there is no information. The file is missing. It's not in the memory of the computer. It has not been downloaded in the computer's memory. Do you see now how stuttering has an endless variety of forms depending on the unique set of mental stupor blocks of a person? In order to act normally, people who stutter need a specialist who can see their stupor blocks and who can custom make a personal key, create an individual program for unblocking their body-mind machine, unblocking their mind. So speech is an action of a person. Just like bending a finger or sticking the tongue in and out. This is an action. Can an action of a person ever become sick? No. We may break our leg and we may need a medical assistance, a cure to put a cast on our leg. But guess what? We can still move even broken leg. The action itself can never become ill. Speaking is your action, which you perform incorrectly, mistakenly. Why? Because you set mistaken goals for yourself. You may say, I speak normally alone, but I feel anxious and begin stuttering in front of other people. Why? Because when you speak alone or when you speak in front of familiar people, you don't want to impress anybody. And you do not set this strange goal to speak too quickly, very, very fast. And you speak normally, without rushing. But the moment someone important enters the room, you change that your goal. You order yourself to speak very fast, to impress that important person. You change the goal from correct to incorrect. If you attempt to execute this incorrect goal, you will stupor. People who stutter set various incorrect goals for themselves. For example, they also may say, I want to speak without being nervous. I want to calm down and then speak without mistakes. So instead of wanting to learn speaking under stress, to learn expressing their emotions, they want to become a senseless zombie. They want to desensitize themselves and never worry about anything in their life. Is this a correct goal? Is it even possible to never worry about anything in our life? Of course not. When our students enter the Etalon unblocking classroom, I teach them how to express their emotions. The whole purpose of speaking is to express emotions. If you are not feeling anything at this moment, it doesn't even make sense to speak. What are you going to express? Because speech is expression of what we think, what we want, what idea we have in our mind, what we need others to help us with. Speech is a siren. We request attention from other people. And if we are not feeling anything at this moment, if we don't have any emotions, then there is no reason for speaking. When my students step in the Etalon unblocking classroom, I teach them how to express any emotion they have. I teach them to express these emotions with words. There is so much information I would like to share, but of course, you need to step inside of the classroom because I have no idea what is a specific piece of disinformation you still believe, and it still blocks your mind and causes you to stupor. And I hope to see you soon in the Etalon unblocking classroom to assist you with unblocking not just your speech, but your whole life. Because each Etalon graduate unblocks his mind, becomes free to follow natural speech norms. And by doing so, he normalizes his speech, his thinking process, his memory, and his attention. Etalon speech unblocking process is designed to unblock your body, mind, and will. Lots of love to you. Anna Dieter.